Hello, everybody. I'm coming to you from a dark basement somewhere in the Midwest. We got Matt Shapiro.
You're coming from the basement where he enjoys his other hobby.
All right. And Tim Seavey is, he's just over in the corner right now.
He's the newest victim.
Yeah. He can hear everything I say right now.
He's putting lotion on his skin. No, just kidding.
All right. Anyways, oh man, that's an old reference, man. That is an old reference. You know what I just watched recently? Misery.
Never seen
that movie. That movie, you never seen it? Oh
No.
man, that movie's 30 years old. 30 years old, and it's still good. So
I'll watch it.
Watch some Misery, okay? It's a Stephen King story. All right.
Must be an autobiography.
Hey, okay, it's like a story of like his worst nightmare, basically. So yeah.
Stephen King's worst nightmare.
Well, like, okay, because if you're being realistic, so it doesn't have any of the magical, sort of monsters or anything like that in it, where what that kind of populates his,
it's just about his book not selling or something like that. Stephen King's worst nightmare. Working at McDonald's. No, I'm sorry. Nothing against working at McDonald's.
All right. Now this week, okay, so this is the 5th week of September.
Right.
And every time that we have a 5th Wednesday, what we're going to do is we're going to review a debate-related game. All right? All right. So I found a lot of them. They should last throughout, at least this season, if not the next season. You know what I mean? But like, there's apparently a lot of debate-related board games. So we're going to go over one today. It's called Argue. All right. Here's part of the trick. Matt doesn't know anything about this game, and so that's kind of how. So I'm going to explain it as we go, and we're going to figure out this game together. So it's kind of like reaction video almost. All right.
I know very little about anything, really. I mean,
so here we go. Check this out. Oh, yeah. Is it looking all right? All right. Ooh. There we go. That's enough. That's yeah. It's a pretty good.
Looks like a mouth with teeth.
Yeah, that's because it is. So I guess it's supposed to be like an open mouth that's arguing.
Right.
I'm just trying to show you all of the parts here, and so I got the timer here. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's these little tokens, these 1s and 2s, and so basically, Matt, you're supposed to have a 1 and a 2. I'm supposed to have a 1 and a 2. This is supposed to be a 3-player game,
right?
By the way. All right, so it's because 3 is the minimum, so we're just going to kind of fake it a little bit when we're going through this, right?
Okay.
We have this little die, and it only has 1s and 2s on it. Okay,
like my girlfriend.
Yeah. So, and then there's this die, and it just has different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Matt, pick a color.
Green.
Green. I'll do the orange.
There we go.
There we go. I think so. Or we're on the start.
The colors of the U. For all the Miami fans out there.
Oh, it is. That's the Hurricanes, ain't it?
Right. And I guess the Dolphins, too, now that I think about it. So let's be very specific.
Oh, really?
This is for the Hurricane fans out there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, since we're, yeah. All right. So, all right. So you also have to get a distraction card. Here's your distraction card. And here's my distraction card. Okay. So to give you, let me give you an idea of what's on some of these distraction cards, okay?
Okay.
All right, so not that one. So stand up, bend over, and touch your toes while arguing.
Okay. Little physicality in this podcast
today. Yeah. So like you can see how it's use the word hippopotamus 4 times in your argument. That's good.
Oh, I like that one.
That's a good one. That's a good one, man.
Right.
Argue while flipping a pen in your hand. Oh my God, everyone can do that. That like all the senior level, like, oh man, they always have this weird. I could never do it. I could never do the weird pen flippy thing.
My brother Brian can do the drumstick flip around pen thing.
Oh yeah,
I cannot.
Yeah. While arguing, hold your hands above your head, stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
I like the using certain words one. I hope that they have a bunch of those. So you get that at random. if you want to use that, all right. So that's part.
I
of it.
use it against you. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So when you think it's opportune, then use it, right?
Okay.
So you also have these cards right here,
Right.
and these are advocate. That's what it says. Advocate.
Advocate.
Yeah. Why am I having a hard time with this? Boom, 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 boom. All right. Advocate. And then I get an advocate one too. And then we get this one's called Devil's Advocate.
Okay.
Okay. I get one of those too. So you're supposed to have one of each, and that's a way to vote. You'll see. Okay.
All right, Jared. I'm excited.
So there's that. First, you need a topic to argue about. The first player. This is you. This is your role. Okay.
This is my role.
Yeah, your role. You get.
It's a man's world, and it's my role.
Yeah, and it's green. Okay.
Okay.
So now what you do is you go to the topic cards here, and you pick one of these cards. What takes more skill, being a concert pianist or an NBA basketball player? Now, because you are on the affirmative, you have to take the concert pianist side.
Okay.
That the concert pianist takes more skill. That goes in the discard pile. So now you start preparing your arguments. The thing is, you're supposed to have. This is where having 3 players is key. Okay.
Okay.
Because you're supposed to go around, and the first person to roll a 2.
Yeah.
They are your opponent.
Okay.
So there's 1s and there's 2s, and so let's say I roll it. Oh, I got a 1, and now Tim rolls it. He rolls a 1. It comes back to me. That's a 2. I'm your opponent.
Perfect.
See that? All right. So now I have to say that the NBA player has the higher skill.
Although arguing with Tim right now would be a lot easier than arguing with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thing is, he's not here. But okay. So let's just argue. Are we ready, or what do we do?
No, hold on. So so you know what side you're arguing. Yeah, you know what? We can do the arguing, and then I'll show you kind of how it works. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So this is the timer. You get 30 seconds. This is a 30-second timer. Okay. And so here's the order that it goes in. Player 1, that's you, argues for 30 seconds. Then I argue for 30 seconds. And then we both argue in a free-for-all manner. So that would be doing that at the same
Like
time.
my parents. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
And then you do your closing arguments, and then I do my closing arguments.
All right, man. Let's do it.
It's 2.5 minutes total. The whole debate is 2.5 minutes.
I need you to hold the timer in a place where I could see it. Okay.
I will absolutely do that. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Begin. Well, let's define what a concert pianist is. There's a lot of different concerts out there, but we're not talking about in your backyard or in your living room with your grandmother. I'm talking about an equivocal concert as an NBA game. So we're talking about a person playing Madison Square Garden as a concert pianist, like Elton John or Randy Newman. There are very few virtuoso piano players of that nature, way less than NBA players.
All right. So, all right, my opponent makes the argument that it's like the number of people that determines the amount of skill. I think the better measure for that is the coordination, like bodily coordination, okay? And the best way to measure that would be the number of muscles that you have to coordinate. In a concert pianist, it's all in the hands. Like you might have some body movements and things like that, but for an NBA player, it requires the entire body, and that level of coordination is higher skill.
Okay, how much time do we have now? What is it?
30 seconds. Every single time it's 30 seconds.
Oh,
So go
okay. Go ahead.
Right. So what the hell? Why the hell is popularity?
I can't see my time. Okay, so I would say that I would disagree. It's not just about locomotive movement. I mean, a lumberjack cutting down a tree haphazardly uses
That's
a lot
skill.
of.
That's a skill.
Well, hold on. Haphazardly is not. My point is the mental brain power, the basketball IQ is what makes a intelligent player. But
Intelligence and skill are not the same thing. You could be highly skilled and not very intelligent.
Is this free for all time yet?
It is. It is.
Oh,
free for all time.
that's
Now
why you're interrupting me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me.
So yeah, that was
30 seconds is not a lot of time, by the way.
It is not.
No.
Not a lot. It's like you get like one argument. One argument.
So for all of you people who are scared of filling time out there all the time, just know that 30 seconds disappears pretty quickly if you're trying to prove an entire point.
I think I like that a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do get your last closing argument.
Oh, who's first?
You.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
You go.
Oh, in closing, don't listen to anything that guy just said. He jumped in the middle of my point and didn't even give me a chance to acknowledge him during the free-for-all part, which is a credibility issue, which is the reason why you shouldn't vote for him. Second of all, don't believe anyone who's in a dungeon, right? I mean, that's just a general rule of thumb. And third of all, my point about the number of people playing Madison Square Garden is much less when you're talking about virtuoso concert pianists compared to NBA players, which is still stands. Jared has not acknowledged it. For that reason, I win.
Time's up, dude.
Well, you took my time last time.
All right. Well, the free for all is not your time. I was well within my rights to say something. All right. Secondly, so my opponent has proven that concert pianists might be more popular and they might be more intelligent, but they didn't explain why that makes them more skilled. So the only person that has any sort of definition of skill is me, and that is bodily coordination. NBA players must coordinate more muscles at one time than a concert pianist. A lumberjack also has to coordinate more muscles. That's the end of the round. Okay. So now what happens is, hey, we got a few people watching. Okay. So now,
hello, people who are watching.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to ask you to jump in on this, okay? So you just heard those arguments, and we're going to be voting for it. And right now, you're voting for the pro, who's Matt, or the con, who is me. All right. So if you wanted to just throw up a comment like pro or con, which way you're going, this is only one of the votes. There's two things that they're going to vote on. So let's see. All right, cool.
Hello, Nolan.
So, pro or con, Matt or Jared, either way, we can work on that. All right.
Everyone wants to vote for me. Everyone who votes for Jared is just trying to make sure you feel good. You're very sensitive about your ego, all that. So don't worry. You can vote for Jared, and it's not going to bother me.
But this is so the first vote is just like for Matt or for Jared, right? Remember, it's who did the better debating, not what you personally believe in.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what
tabula rasa.
Yeah. Just throw up either Matt or Jared, pro or con, and so that's what the one or the two is right there, right? Because you're the one, I'm the two, and so what people do is they vote by using those tokens. That's what happens at this stage. Okay,
I like it.
Yeah. So and for every vote that you get or I get, either one of us, then we move forward. So the more people, the better.
Yeah, right? I am very excited about some audience participation. So for all of you alleged audience members, go ahead and cast your vote.
So if you got 2 votes and I got 1, we would both move forward. But you see what I mean?
I'll stipulate to that right now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's just the that's the way that it's kind of a cool game. I think it's really awesome, right? And we had a pretty good topic. Now here's the problem: some of these topics are a little dated. So it's almost like Trivial Pursuit, where you kind of have to buy the updated
Okay. What year was this game made? Do you know by any chance?
Oh, I don't.
That would be great.
Let me see if there's I got a 2017 copyright on here. So, yeah.
No one likes you, Jared.
Okay. All right. So see that? I've gone boom. Got 1.
Winner.
One. Yeah, and so that's why it's really fun. If you have a large number of people, it's especially fun, right? Because you're really moving at that moment. Okay. Okay. Here's the next thing that is voted on, and now this is where it gets really, really interesting. So, what I forgot to say is right at the beginning of when I announced the topic, Matt, you're supposed to choose at that moment if you are an advocate or a devil's advocate. And that means your personal opinion. Are you defending what you really believe, or are you just
Ooh, I was devil's advocate on that one.
okay? So there you go. You would make sure that that's like on the table, face down. Nobody knows you've declared.
Oh,
So you see what I'm saying? So before
Yeah.
you start arguing, you have that there, and it's declared whether or not you're an advocate or a devil's advocate.
yeah.
So now what happens is that everybody else now starts and guesses whether or not you were a advocate or a devil's advocate.
Okay. Yeah.
And so if they guess correctly, they get to move forward. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So Nolan's got a piece in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I would even say the people who got it wrong, that means that you get to move forward. Like I would up the ante on that one. I'd add my own little like, because if you can fool somebody like with your performance, I think that deserves some reward. You know what I mean? So
Well, do we flip flop between affirmatives?
yeah. So now okay, and so that would be so the whole thing ends when everybody argues twice.
Okay.
You understand? All right. So if there were 7 people, we would have 7
14,
debates.
yeah.
Yeah, we would have, and so we would have 7 debates, but that means that you're negative on one of them and affirmative on the other. You know what I mean? And so you have because there's 2 of us, we have to do 2 rounds, right?
Right.
So now this is my role. And that's the red. Okay, this one's kind of cool. This is the overrated question. So the other one was the green one is it's like a this versus that format, right? Like but the red one is the overrated question.
All right.
And so it's like, is this overrated?
Is Jared Kubica Miller overrated? Is Nolan's vote overrated? I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. So I'm gonna skip the one that's a little sort of sexual. And I'm gonna go for the yeah, I know. I'm like, so that's a thing, right? It's like I'm gonna.
So this game is for people who are a little older, maybe not 13, maybe maybe 14, 15, maybe a little older.
Yeah, so this one it said tight rear ends. Are tight rear ends overrated? I'm like, you know what? I'll save that for another night. And we'll go to.
I'll save that for the guy in the dungeon. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right. So expensive restaurants. So I take the side that expensive restaurants are overrated.
Right.
And you take the side that expensive restaurants are not overrated.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So here we go. All right. So expensive restaurants, I think what you're talking about just generally is like if 2 people go in and you're spending over $100, let's just say that's what an expensive restaurant is. Do you need to spend more than $100 to go out at night? I think no. I think that it's pretentious, it's elitist, and it's classist to visit expensive restaurants. Done.
We left some time on the clock there, Jared. I see. Well, allow me to retort. I'm ready when you are. I'm watching your flip here.
I'll flip it when you start.
Okay, begin. Expensive restaurants are not overrated. Oh my goodness, my boss is leaving. Everyone, have a nice night. I want to recount on my timer there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. It's the
Everything
first
good?
time. No. I'm just kidding. Everything's all good. Everything's all good except my time got burned. Here we go.
All right,
Are you ready?
Yeah. Ready? Yeah.
I disagree with Jared's interpretation of what an expensive restaurant is. Simply because you spend $100 between 2 people could mean you drank a bunch of alcohol, which is normally the very expensive part. An expensive restaurant is one that has expensive food. And because of the food being expensive, it's considered an expensive restaurant. Expensive food is not overrated. Sometimes expensive food is made with higher quality materials or ingredients, which are inherently more expensive than cheaper ingredients, like, say, organic food versus non-organic.
You can get plenty quality ingredients with,
Jared's wrong.
$100.
Everything he's saying is wrong.
Like,
this is free.
Like, what do you need? And I think, like, at that point, like, what you're doing is that you're shoving people out like when it.
Well, no, but see, you're calling it exclusionary. I'm saying it's the cost of doing business when your chefs are highly paid.
Restaurants that do business at less cost.
Del Taco's cheap.
All right. So, listen, my opponent said that alcohol is expensive. That's because it has a giant markup, and I think that's actually more reason not to spend money out at restaurants. Like, drink at home. You go out and have a meal so you don't have to do dishes, but drinks don't take a whole lot of dishes. Drink at home. And I think that you could go out for less than $100, watch a movie, come on home, have some drinks, and that's a really nice night out.
Definitely left some time on the clock again. Okay, you go ahead and flip that thing. I have an opponent who is moving his target more than someone in a QB competition at the draft day. Okay, so this guy now says don't go to restaurants at all, whereas original position was supposed to be defending lesser expensive restaurants. If you don't like going to restaurants, then it doesn't matter if it's expensive or not. They're all overrated. This argument is about why expensive restaurants are overrated. He didn't defend that. Second of all, I forgot my second point. Time's gone. Bye-bye. I win.
All right. We'll see. Like, get another vote going, right? Oh, and but the thing is, you couldn't put the card down, and so now.
You have to put your advocation card down.
Now I'll just be honest because like there's nothing for me to lose on that one.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. All right. But I was devil's advocate.
Right.
I love.
Jared's bougie. He took me to my first nice restaurant. I should have said that. That could have been the best part of my argument.
Yeah. What about you?
I
said about the NBA. I said on the NBA.
Yeah. No, we said it.
On the NBA, I think I was an advocate. I didn't really have an opinion, but I'm like, if you define it this way, I'm totally on board with it.
In the NBA one, it's like it depends if you're playing to your grandmother in your bedroom, or if you're like what's a concert, right? Like what's a concert? A concert is vague. NBA is not vague. NBA is like a professional basketball player, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's vague enough to not have a debate about it. You know what I mean? It's like, so I'll
argue with you all day on that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was devil advocate on this one though. How about this one for you?
No, I mean, I was kind of wish-wash because like I've been to restaurants that you're like, look, I could get better food down the street in a at a food truck. I've also had restaurants where you're paying for artisan skill and great ingredients and a great ambiance, right? So I guess it can be overrated, but it can also be a very pleasant experience, unique experience.
I mean, there are some restaurants that are overrated, but as a category,
right? Too broad.
Yeah. So no.
All right, Nolan, we need you, buddy. We need a winner.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of time to flush it out. You really got to go for one thing.
Right. And I keep trying to go for like 5,
Yeah, and it's what is it? I think it's hard for you to kind of locate what the one thing is in the short because there's no prep time. There's no prep time. I mean, it's kind of like, all right. You mean that you're on the affirmative.
The prep time is how long it takes you to go from here to here. That's the prep time.
So, but that's still good because you're kind of shooting from the hip. You know what I mean? It's like just 30 seconds. You just but you do got to pick one, in my opinion, and just go for it.
It's a good exercise because I mean, it puts you on the spot. You're forced to argue a side. So much of what we talk about, I think, is about how. People are always asking, especially newcomers, it's like, how do you argue something that you don't agree with? And like, it's funny because, we always talk about it two ways. It's like, one, be creative. Think about a way how you do believe it to be true and argue it. Or the real devil's advocate, like this game is saying, where it's like, look, I could argue. It's really important to understand a side, even though you may not agree with it. I mean, I think that's critical to public discourse or anything else in relationships.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's I kind of I remember liking it. And the only problem I think I have is when the things kind of get dated. I think you have to get a little bit of
like Blockbuster's better than Hollywood Video. You're like,
they're
Right.
yeah. And so this is where you got is Leonardo DiCaprio overrated, Quentin Tarantino.
Ooh, we got a torn judge right here. He's giving us the classic, well, you did good on this, and you did good on this. But I should have read my Dungeons argument again. That works just as well in this one.
So yeah, here's one like Melissa McCarthy or Jennifer Hudson.
Melissa McCarthy is the SNL girl. She's hilarious, and Jennifer Hudson is an actress, and I don't really remember who she is.
I think you're mistaken.
Wow. Hey, Jared. I think Nolan is pandering to your ego, just like I anticipated. No problem, Nolan.
Boom. That's
he is the master debater to me, so that makes sense.
Yeah. But it's pretty, like, I'm looking through it and I'm seeing, like, I'm like, red versus white clam chowder. I'm like, yeah. Oh, here's one. What technology improves life more? TiVo or voicemail?
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm going to say TiVo.
Yeah.
Voicemail is a burden. You know what I mean? Like, you have 2,700 new messages.
Who the smarter TV character, Paige on Scorpion or Penny on Big Bang Theory? Yeah, what's Scorpion? Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Paige.
I have seen a Big Bang Theory. Let's just put it that far.
I know that show. I'm wondering if this question was written when both of them seemed like they were going to be equally popular, but one of them kind of like really took off. And yeah. So yeah, that's cool. But most of them, like, honestly, the vast majority of them, I think there's only like maybe 10, 15%, if I'm kind of just doing like really rough math right now, of things I'm like, yeah, you might as well pass on that one. But most of it, like cricket versus rugby, I don't know. Like, but
now there's something I know a whole bunch about right there.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, but that's good.
Stupid good. Americans.
Yeah. So, Niagara Falls. Is Niagara Falls overrated? Huh.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Water in general is overrated. I'm glad we're running out of it at a rapid rate. Who needs water when you have Gatorade?
Oh, man.
The guy what plants crave.
What, REM or INXS?
The West shall fall. Thanks, Pizza Time. First time seeing you here. Glad you're here.
Huh.
The West shall fall. I agree. I don't know why, but I do.
All right.
Oh, gone.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, sir.
All right.
Well, should we? What next, Jared? You have we bring your parents in here and see how to argue.
Who's cooler, Johnny Depp or Samuel L. Jackson? Like that one.
Cooler. I'm gonna say Samuel L. Jackson because he's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Johnny Depp is a little crazy, a little wacky. He's a little unpredictable.
Yeah.
But Samuel Jackson is predictably cool.
And some of them,
we're gonna be like a bunch of little Fonzies in here. And what's Fonzie like?
Very
cool. He's cool.
So some of them don't age well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Harvey Weinstein, overrated?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
oh man.
I think I saw something for like R. Kelly. Like, is R. Kelly the best? Is R. Kelly overrated or something like that? I'm like, woo, boy.
Well, I mean, R. Kelly, this is a whole nother debate. Can we enjoy R. Kelly's music even though R. Kelly did all that stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, but looking at these are like,
right.
Perfectly fine. Like, even some of the ones that are, a few years old are still good. Justin Bieber or Ariana Grande. Yeah.
That's new. That's pretty new.
Yeah, not bad. Chris Pratt or Chris Pine. So like, the yellow is like funny. So which is more exciting to watch, or just a horse race or a track and field relay race?
Horse race or cockfighting?
Yeah, and then there's like I guess food related, where it's like glass bottle versus squeeze bottle ketchup, and then like
No, the squeeze bottle is far superior to the glass bottle.
like the pop culture is that. Well, I guess it's just because when it says fiction versus nonfiction books, but then this is like the oh man, let's see. Oh god. Okay, so those ones are the ones that get dated. Like Michael Jackson, Freak of Nature or Misunderstood. I'm like,
that's
man,
not dated.
yeah.
That's as relevant today as ever.
But that's what like Beyonce and Adele. But who sings better, Beyonce or Adele? Okay. That one
sings better. That's a tough one, man.
And
I'm glad that one didn't come up.
Yeah. I don't know where would you rather travel to, Australia or UK?
Australia has very large spiders and very large snakes, both of which I'm very scared of. So probably, maybe Australia.
What's healthier, aerobics or weightlifting? Stuff like that. And then there's the overrated one, which is they just give you a word.
Is Jared overrated?
Yeah, president of the United States overrated? Oh man. Okay.
The position itself.
Yeah. All right. So hey, that was our game review, everybody. It was
yeah.
I kind of like it. I mean, and hopefully they update these, you know what I mean, regularly, kind of like Trivial Pursuit does. It's a good business model. People have to update their stuff every once in a while.
Thank you, everyone, for participating, and hopefully Tim gets out of that basement pretty soon. Huh, Jared?
Yeah. All right. Hey, everyone. That's what we got for today. We'll see you next week. Okay? Adios.
Take care.